Today I'm here to talk to you about the biggest crisis facing our nation and many other nations today. It's the crisis of contempt and polarization that's tearing our societies apart. And to start us today on this path of new thinking about the crisis of contempt and polarization, I want to turn to the words of the ultimate new thinker, history's greatest social entrepreneur, and as a Catholic, my personal Lord and Savior, Jesus. Here's what he said, as recorded in the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 5, verse 44. You have heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of the Father in heaven. My friends, that is the theme of this breakfast today. Love your enemies. That's thinking differently. It changed the world starting 2,000 years ago, and it's as subversive and counterintuitive today as it was then. Political liberals, I want you to remember, they're not stupid and they're not evil. They're just Americans who disagree with us on public policy. And if you want to persuade them, which you should, you can only do it one way, and that's with love. A lady said to me, she said, you're wrong. They are stupid and evil. My father was a college professor. My mother was an artist in Seattle, Washington. What do you think their politics were? I'm politically conservative. I'm the outlier in my own family. Let me tell you something about my parents. They were not stupid and they were not evil. They were followers of Jesus and brought me up as a Christian. They gave me good values and they taught me to think for myself. The problem isn't anger, my friends. The problem is what psychologists call contempt. Arthur Schopenhauer, the great 19th century philosopher, said that contempt is the conviction of the utter worthlessness of another human being. When you are treated with contempt, you never forget it. So how do we break the habit of contempt? Some people say we need more civility. We need more tolerance. I say nonsense. Why? Because civility and tolerance are a low standard. If I told you that my wife Esther and I are civil to each other, you'd say we need counseling. Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew didn't say tolerate your enemies. He said love your enemies. Love them. Answer hatred with love. You believe Jesus' teaching, act like it. Me too. To love your enemies. Ask God to take political contempt from your heart. Make a commitment to somebody else to reject contempt. I mean, look, of course you're going to disagree. You need to disagree with other people. That's what makes America great, is disagreement. It's the competition of ideas. That's part of democracy. That's right and good. But do it without contempt. Ask somebody to hold you accountable. If you're a public leader, maybe make that commitment publicly. Look, this is your opportunity to show people what leadership is all about. Run toward the darkness, bring your light.
I'm working very hard for you, I will tell you. And sometimes you don't make it easy, and I certainly don't make it easy on you. And I will continue that tradition, if I might, this morning. And Arthur, I don't know if I agree with you. But I don't know if Arthur's going to like what I'm going to say. As everybody knows, my family, our great country, and your president have been put through a terrible ordeal by some very dishonest and corrupt people. They have done everything possible to destroy us, and by so doing, very badly hurt our nation. They know what they are doing is wrong, but they put themselves far ahead of our great country. Weeks ago and again yesterday, courageous Republican politicians and leaders had the wisdom, fortitude, and strength to do what everyone knows was right. I don't like people who use their faith as justification for doing what they know is wrong. nor do I like people who say, "I pray for you," when they know that that's not so. So many people have been hurt, and we can't let that go on.